Hey girlies, welcome to my 5 a.m. morning routine. I just got back from an hour at the gym and I was running on the treadmill, so I feel super proud of myself. So now I'm going to get started on my breakfast and I'm going to eat my fave avocado toast. And of course, I'm not an absolute barbarian, so I am also making a banana smoothie. Hey y'all, welcome to my 8 a.m. morning routine. I have work in 30 minutes, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. I am making honey bunches of oats, except this cereal is way too healthy, so I'm gonna add some sugar. And the milk has gone bad, so I'm eating it dry. Hope you enjoyed. Does everybody actually look the same, or are you just lazy? My Debbie Ryan face. We are having this everybody looks the same conversation every 5 business days in 5 different ways. First, it's all the Instagram influencers look the same. Okay. Then it's all the female rappers. They look the same and they sound the same. Okay. Then it's everybody on Instagram and TikTok is making the same kind of content. And if I see another 5 a.m. morning routine where they're doing the same 6 things, I'm gonna scream. And how come all y'all like to eat fruit and yogurt and granola in the morning? What's up with that? None of y'all eat Frosted Flakes. None of y'all eat honey bunches of oats. My personal favorite. Not even a Honey Nut Cheerio. You know what I mean? What's going on? I just think there comes a point where we have to be accountable for the content we choose to consume. You're tired of female rappers all looking the same, but you only follow all the mainstream female rappers. Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Lotto. You're tired of influencers all looking the same, but who are you following? Say it with me, class. Influencers who all look the same. Exactly. Come on. Now, okay, all right. I hear you screaming in the back. Yes, you're right. I want to acknowledge that the algorithm and trends can make it harder to find more unique people online. At the end of the day, numbers don't lie. Just because a group of people on the internet are loud about something does not mean that that's what the whole world thinks. My first big point when it comes to being accountable for the content we choose to consume is this. Some people prefer to wait for other people to discover the next big thing instead of going out and looking for it themselves. In other words, people don't want new. They want other people to tell them what's new and what's cool. This trickle-down effect of a small group of people creating a trend for the masses happens a lot with fashion, right? The big fashion houses, Gucci, you know, the Guccis, the Louis, the Friendies, the Pradas, they send their stuff down the runway. Fast fashion copies off of it, and then next thing you know, we're all wearing it. And you know where I learned that from? Baby, Miranda ain't never lied. Miranda ain't never lied. She told no lies. See, they need to play this movie in school because it's educational. In school, I learned about the technology adoption curve, which describes the process of how new technology or new product is adopted by the masses. On this curve, there are 5 distinct groups: innovators, early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. The early adopters, which is the group I want to focus on. These are the tastemakers. According to the Interaction Design Foundation, early adopters tend to be the most influential people within any market space, and they will often have a degree of thought leadership for other potential adopters. They may be very active in social media and often create reviews and other materials around new products that they strongly like or dislike. If you're watching this while I hover around 2,000 subscribers, you're an early adopter. Congratulations! There's no prize except the pleasure of being here with me. Sound like Johnny Bravo. I also think people don't know what they want until you tell them what they should want. Not everyone has the personality where they're going to search for things. That's why I love Pinterest for fashion and interior design. And today's sponsor is not Pinterest. That would be such a good transition to bring in my Pinterest sponsorship, but I'm not sponsored by them. This is free promo. Throwing Yellowbone Pinterest, throw me one back. You know what I mean? Throw me one back. On Pinterest, it's super easy to go down like a whole rabbit hole. And if you curate your algorithm correctly, you'll find stuff on there that would be harder to find on Instagram, in my opinion. On Instagram and TikTok, you have to play the game. I'm assuming more than on Pinterest. I'm sure Pinterest, there's a game being played as well, but it's not as bad. I don't think. I don't know. Pinterest influencers, let your girl know if I'm wrong. By the game, I mean appeasing the algorithm and doing what's trendy. If Instagram is pushing reels, then the girls have to do reels. If they want their followers to see their content or new people to see their content, don't hate the player, hate the game. And with trends also, it's like exposure therapy. The more you see it, the more you become convinced that it's cool and that you need to be doing it. And if you're not doing it, something's wrong with you. We all experience this, right? You see a movie, you're like, what did I just watch? That made no sense. I don't get it. You watch it again, you're like, oh my God, the director was brilliant. Wow. Your mind. How did you even think of that? Give him an Oscar. The same thing is happening on social media. Who was the first person who invented the 5 a.m. morning routine? Who invented that on YouTube? Who started that trend? You're a menace to society. I'm joking. I literally watch those when I need to be motivated to get my life together. Even though I know I'm not waking up 5 a.m. For what? If I'm waking up 5 a.m., there's a problem. And then before you know it, everybody's making 5 a.m. morning routines and you start thinking, maybe I need to wake up at 5 a.m. Even though the first time you saw that, you thought that was crazy. Your job doesn't start till 9. Actually, you work for yourself. What the hell are you doing up at 5? I mean, but now it's like, oh yeah, another one. Like, maybe I need to be doing that. Well, I'm not thinking that, but I think some of you are. Yeah, I'm impervious to that brainwashing. All right, 8 a.m. gang. Pop, pop on my 9 to 5 girlies, waking up at 8 or 8:30. Gotta do what you gotta do to get the bag. And I don't gotta wake up before 8 to get the bag, because work starts at 9. Thank you very much. Another thing I've noticed is that we're so inundated with content all the time, from social media, from streaming services. People have a hard time developing their own personal style and taste. What do you like? What did you like before the world told you what you should like? Is what I want to know. How many discover your personal style blog posts and YouTube videos exist today? It's a lot. It's a lot. If we go back to the fashion industry, it's so trend-based, right? You go to a fast fashion store, it's either trendy stuff or classic items that probably won't go out of style. So if that's all you can afford, is honey, get with the trends, or I don't know, here's a basic white t-shirt, because that's a classic item. It's hard to like branch out of that if you don't know how to do that. It's not hard to branch out, but if that's what you're used to, it's like, you have to consciously put in work to not do that, right? To not buy into that. And then it's the same thing with music, right? If all music sounds the same to you, that's because that's what's floated to the top. It's what's mainstream. Impatience plays a role in the content we choose to consume. And, if that content happens to look the same as a lot of other people's content, I think impatience is part of the problem. People want that immediate boost of serotonin that comes from watching something everybody says is good or popular. People don't have the resources, whether that's time or money or something else, to go looking for, what's going to entertain them or keep them occupied or what's, whatever. And they don't have the time or resources to try things that could be bad. Let's mitigate that risk. You know what I mean? Like, let's just stick to what everybody says is cool instead of going out of my way to find what works for me. The journey of discovery is not something many are willing to experience anymore. I find myself doing this with books. A few years ago, I was at a point where if I was going to read a book, I would go on Goodreads. Goodreads is basically like the Facebook of books. Okay, you can leave reviews there. If I saw a book on there that I was interested in reading, and it didn't have at least 4 stars, a minimum average 4-star rating, baby, I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. You want me to spend, depending on how much that book costs, could be a lot of money. Now, I have a library card now, so I'm willing to take the risk because it's free. Well, is it free? Because my tax dollars are going somewhere. I don't know where they're going, but I guess part of it's going to the library. But, you know, whatever. Out of pocket, immediate out of pocket expense is $0 for me to read this library book that I might hate. If we relate this to clothes, right? I see leg warmers are coming back in style, allegedly. That's what they say. I Googled it. I don't see anybody in real life wearing leg warmers, but apparently on the internet they're coming back in style. Okay, so I go to Forever 21, which, by the way, I haven't stepped foot in Forever 21 in quite some time, but hypothetically speaking, I go to Forever 21, the leg warmers are there, $20. If I don't know how to style them, I'm not gonna buy them. That's a waste of my money. But if I've seen a million people style leg warmers a million different ways, then I might just make no, sorry. I might be convinced that I need those leg warmers and I could style them because I've seen Bella Hadid wear them. Hailey Bieber wore those leg warmers, so I can wear those leg warmers. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hailey Bieber. There's no confusion. There's no stress. There's no thinking involved. The internet did all the thinking for me, and Bella Hadid and Hailey Bieber. Thanks, ladies. Appreciate you. If we relate this back to the technology adoption curve, like I said, there's the early adopters that are the tastemakers. Then after that, we have the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. These latter three groups are characterized as being more risk averse. You know, they may have less resources. They don't like change. So that's where most of the population is falling, in these latter three groups, which is part of the problem. This is part of the reason why everybody looks the same, is because we're late. We're still waiting for the early adopters to go find those next new people to inform the rest of us, you know, who we should be paying attention to. That's really the problem. Part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Although keep in mind, there are people who are rich and who don't mind risk, who are in the latter three groups. It just depends. So, okay. I don't think everyone's lazy. When it comes to consuming content online or in music or in fashion, I don't think everybody's lazy. I also think there are people who they're so comfortable with following what's popular, they just don't know any other way to live. I also recently watched a video Jackie Aina made on this topic called Individuality is Dead, which is what inspired me to make this video. Yeah. In it, she gave some examples. She basically talked about how people say they want individuality, but then when they find people who are unique, they attack those people instead of praising them and lifting them up. So definitely recommend you check that video out as well for a different perspective. Next time you see me, my hair won't be straightened. So I'm going to do this one more time as my way of saying goodbye. Straighten my hair and I don't know how to act. Woo! Okay.